Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is a scene for the Changeling venue of the Living World of Darkness. And in this scene, Siobhan will meet who the kingdom has decided will be her mentor. This will go swimmingly, as Taryn is an incredibly nice and caring individual. Actually, he's none of these things. So she was given an address to his shop. It's a fabrication shop, and on the front it'll say Greg's Custom Fabrication. And when she enters, first thing is her ears will be assaulted by extremely loud music. He is currently listening to Disturbed's latest album as loud as he could possibly get it. The room that his shop is in has speakers. It looks like they've been rummaged from a dumpster, hanging on the corners of all the rooms with wiring that connects them all together. And it looks as if there's no way these speakers should be pumping out the quality of sound that they are, but they certainly are. There is scraps of metal, broken down cars that have been scrapped for parts. There are all manners of machinery. And in the dead center of the room, there is Taryn on his ladder, who appears to be working on an engine in an old 1980s Chevy Nova. He is animated. You can't really hear him over the loud music, but he is banging away at something with a sledgehammer.
You probably won't hear Siobhan enter over all of the noise that's going on in the workshop. And even when she steps inside, there's like a moment where she kind of flinches as if she is physically hit in the face by all the loud noise. But holding the little piece of paper that tells her she has apparently been assigned a babysitter in her hand, she will slowly kind of start creeping over. She doesn't so much try to yell to get his attention as meekly just edge into his vision, kind of scooting along until he decides to notice her.
Okay. She'll about 4'6". He's a little person. His face is almost clown-like, kind of a demented-looking clown. He's got red marks along his cheek and forehead that form like zigzag patterns. His nose is really red. It's typical knocker appearance. But his eyes are just extremely light blue. It's the only thing softening about his appearance. And those eyes they're obviously not natural, and they shine through into his mortal seeming. And we'll give him... Does he notice? Okay. She edges into view, and he's got this sledgehammer, and he's got it reared back, and he looks at her and goes... And he mouths something. You can't quite make it out. The music's far too loud.
Siobhan's pointy ears kind of droop a little bit as she gives him a look of utter confusion.
He kind of lowers the sledge a bit and grabs a remote that also looks like it's been clobbered together from bits and pieces. He lifts it up in the air and hits a button, and the music stops. And the first words out of his mouth are, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
When he says that, she kind of flinches a little. Your door was open.
He looks over at the door and reaches kind of behind the car, where he's got a cart that she can't really see, and he pulls up this really large hand cannon. Is the best that can be described. It's a revolver, but the The barrel and the wheel are far too large to be a normal pistol.
She is going to instantly kind of like shrink and throw her hands up.
Who are you?
Uh, um, uh, I, she's staring at the gigantic weapon.
Name.
Siobhan. I was, I got this, and she like thrusts her hand out and shows him the letter.
Shaban. Right. Shit. And he puts the hand cannon down back behind the car. Grabs a towel and starts wiping his hands down. He's covered in grease and soot. He's wearing some overalls, mechanics overalls. Right to the baby.
I guess so.
Did they tell you why you're here?
Not really. I was kind of given a piece of paper and told I was allowed to leave.
Oh, for fuck's sake, those pointy-eared, body-stealing rat bastards.
But what now? She says, like covering her ears with her hands.
Since the court assigned you, I assume you saw kind of tall, pointy-eared, really pretty people who have sticks so wedged up their asses that it's coming out their mouths. One of them. A couple of them.
Oh, the scary doll people?
Yeah.
That like, yeah, I saw one of those.
Yeah. One of them. They assigned you to me.
Okay. What for? This isn't some like weird fairy slavery thing, is it?
What? No, fuck that. Come here. And he grabs the hand cannon and starts walking over to a side of the shop. Looks like it's designed for sitting. There's like an old beat up couch, some chairs that have all been clobbered together from bits and pieces of other chairs, and a dirty, beaten down old refrigerator.
She'll follow behind him, leaving a little bit of space. She won't sit down until she's told she's allowed to, but she'll just kind of like shift awkwardly.
You kind of walk through all manner of old technology, old washers, AC systems, a lot of stuff he seems to rummage from discarded stuff to repurpose. And there's a lot of metalworking tools around as well. He goes to the refrigerator and opens it up, and there's just a shit ton of beer in there. As soon as he opens it up, the light turns off, and the condenser dies. And he stares at it for a second. He pulls out the hand cannon, points it at it, and goes, "Don't you fucking start." And the whole thing kicks back on again.
Siobhan is sitting there. If it were possible, there would be several question marks floating above her head.
He sets the cannon down again and grabs a beer and hands it to her.
Oh, thank you. And she'll hold it. After a while, she will open it and sort of drink it. Kind of like when we're drinking a mug of tea, like she has both hands around it because it's the only normal thing in the area.
Sit down.
Okay. And she sits.
So I am to be your mentor, your teacher, the guy who's going to tell you what the fuck has happened to you.
Okay.
And you are what is called my ward. This is a relationship in which my responsibility is to teach you, your responsibility is to learn. If you fuck up, I get in trouble. And you get in trouble.
Okay. What kind of
So
trouble?
depends on how much you fuck up and what you do.
I don't even know what's fucking up.
Well, that's part of my job is to teach you what not to fucking do. And that way you won't fuck up.
Okay.
Also, I will be your protector and will help provide for you for 1 year and 1 day.
That long, huh?
After that 1 year and 1 day, you become an adult. And
Okay.
you will receive your true name. So I guess I'll get you a key to the shop. That way you can come and go.
Okay.
We all go through it. I went through it when I was my chrysalist.
Chrysalis? Like a moth?
Kinda. Yeah, I guess that works. Let me guess. Your entire life you had a feeling that you didn't quite fit in. Maybe you were picked on.
Yeah,
People looked at you like you were kind of weird. Something wasn't quite right with you.
I guess so.
You always kind of felt like something was missing, and then eventually one day, the world started spinning. You may have gotten a headache, and then the shit hit the fan, and all manner of craziness popped up.
You could say that, yeah.
Yeah, it's your chrysalis. We all do it.
Okay. So, was I like stolen as a baby or something?
What the fuck? No.
You know, like those old grim stories where like they get stolen as a baby and come back not right.
No, shit. Fuck that noise. No. Those are just fairy tales.
Oh,
You were born with a fey soul. That fey soul has been asleep until just recently, in which it wakens and the shit hit the fan. And now you're a changeling. No, you always were a changeling.
I don't have to like eat souls or drink blood or anything, right?
What the fuck are you even watching? No. You eat food.
Okay.
You eat pizza. You drink beer. You do everything that a normal human does because you have a human body and the human body has needs.
Oh, you have no idea how scared I was. I didn't know if I could like take someone's soul or something like that.
No, 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 no. You eat, you sleep, you do more eating, you drink, you fuck. It's all the same.
Okay, that's good.
It's just you have a face soul. And that face soul has been around since fucking forever. And when you die, which you inevitably will, that face soul will move on and be born into a new body, and then the whole process begins itself again.
Okay, I can dig it. That's like incarnation's cool, I guess.
Yeah, that's the word. And after a year and a day, you'll find out the name of that soul. Until then, you won't know it. But the soul has done this numerous times. This is the reason when you started seeing the weird fucked up shit, and a part of you kind of felt like it was right.
Yeah.
Like a bit of you was like, "This is how it's supposed to be." It's your face soul remembering.
Okay.
No need to flip out.
Well, I didn't know.
For the most part, you'll still be Shaban, and you'll continue to be Shaban until you die. You'll just be this on top of it. In fact, it's extremely important you remain Shaban and continue to do the things you have been doing.
Why?
You ever been standing in the line at a DMV to get your driver's license?
Yeah.
You've been standing in that long line, and there's other people standing in that long line, and you look around and there's just forms and posters from the government, and you just feel like this weight is upon you.
Mm-hmm.
It's called banality. Banality is this soul-crushing monotony. It's anti-imagination. It's the stuff that when children stand in front of a television screen and they kind of zone out and they're staring at colors on TV and they don't go outside and play with dragons and shit like that. That's banality. It's everything your parents said was evil about, video games and staring at your phone too much, so they say. That's banality. And banality hurts the face soul. The face soul needs creativity and spontaneity and hope and imagination to survive.
So, like, I'm not allowed to get a driver's license anymore?
Well, you can, and you should, because on the flip side, if you do too much of the face soul, too much imagination, you interact with chimerical reality, which is that overlay that you see that says that, you know, I have a lot of shit on my face, but then at the same time you see that I don't have a lot of shit on my face. Where you see this large gigantic cannon, but then again it's not there either because it doesn't have a gray world manifestation. If you are too far changeling, then you can go insane from the unbridled chaos that can come from it. So if you're too monotonous and too human, the face soul dies. If you're too changeling, too fucked up like that on the other end, then you go insane. So you want to find that middle ground, and you want to live in that middle ground.
But, like, what if, like, I go back to work and, I don't know, more toys start attacking me? Like, I can't just, like, fight invisible tiny things. I'd get, like, locked up or something.
That's hilarious. Toys? Okay. No, that's what's called the dream dance. That's when the dreaming calls out to the face soul. It unbridled creation and chaos occur, and that's when the toys woke up and started attacking. It's almost like the dreaming was jarring the face soul awake, slapping it in the face a few times to get it to go, hey, wake the fuck up. It's time to be a changeling now. That won't happen again.
Oh.
More than likely.
So they'll still just be toys.
Yeah, just toys.
Okay.
It's not that bad. If anything, you are now what you were supposed to be the whole time.
Okay.
Which is a
I guess
a piss key, apparently.
a what?
A piss key.
What's that?
Changelings have races. We call them kiths, where you're a human being and you are Caucasian. You are a changeling and a piss key.
Okay. Are you a
I'm a
piss?
change. No, no, no. I'm a knocker.
What's that?
It's another
Or
race. It's a kith.
okay. So are the blue people and the doll-like people, they're kiths too?
Yes, the blue people are trolls, and the doll-like people are she.
Okay.
Stupid motherfuckers.
Is why? What did they do? That's
What did What did they do? Oh, girl, we don't have time for that. Let's put it this way: changelings exist in a feudal system.
really that sucks.
Yeah, and guess who rules us?
Oh. Oh.
You're a commoner. I'm a commoner. The trolls are commoners. The Slur, Redcaps, they're all commoners. The She are rulers. He says that with like this utter look of disdain.
Do I have to call them Your Majesty?
I don't. There are consequences to not doing it, but I find that snubbing them is worth the consequences. You live in a kingdom. There is a queen, and there are dukes and barons and knights and squires. And you think that sounds fantastic because most people just want to be princesses, but it's fucking bullshit. The whole fucking concept is outdated. But that's just my own personal opinion.
Well, like, we went past all that stuff as people,
Yes.
so I don't know, like, why not?
Why not? Because kiths are creations. We are born from human dreams. Everything about changing society is modeled in some way on human imagination. So, that's just the paradigm we're stuck in because the humans are so fucking fascinated with that shit. So we kind of were born from it, where knockers were created from dreams of craftsmen, hence the shop. The she were created from the dreams of authoritative figures, and so they rule. Some say it's their right to rule, and they certainly have powers that say that, but fuck them anyways.
So, fuck, that's a bummer.
Yeah, a lot of she have a power that lets them control you. They can tell you what to do, and you have to do it. Not all of
Wait,
them
what
have it.
the fuck?
Oh yeah, we have powers. We'll get to that later.
No, like, they can get in my head.
Uh, not uh, not necessarily in your head, but they can say jump, and you'll jump.
How do you stop that?
You don't. Well, there are ways, and we'll get into that later. But you don't. There's nothing you can do to stop them. I will teach you how you can try to stop them. There are ways around it if you can get it to work. But
Okay.
for the most part, work under the assumption that you won't be able to stop them. We all have powers of some way, shape, or form, and that just happens to be one of the things that they do. And when they get really angry, they get really fucking scary.
They're already scary.
Wait
I
till
can't
they get
even look
angry.
at them.
They get so angry, and that their beauty turns into this I won't say diabolical, but they're so intimidating that you freeze in fear. To be really strong-willed to kind of break through that, and when you do, you shoot that motherfucker in the face. That's my personal opinion.
Make it worse. Just looking at them now makes me feel like my eyes are going to melt out.
You see why I hate them so much? There are other reasons for that too. We'll get into those later as well.
Well,
But on the other side, you have me. I'm a nice guy.
I hope so.
And I'm not really a nice guy, but I have principles. It's my responsibility to take care of you, and that's exactly what I'll do.
Okay.
It's in my best interest to make sure that you are well informed and taken care of, because again, if you fuck up, it's my head.
Uh-huh.
And you're cute, and that certainly helps.
Thanks.
There's another Pisky in the area. She'll be able to help you about Pisky matters. I don't know much about that. Her name's Diva. She owns a bar just outside of Chinatown called starts with an A. It's Averona or something like that.
There are Pisky matters? Are there knocker matters?
Of course, there are knocker matters. Our matters are very important, but
Is it like
yeah,
super secret stuff?
some of it. But no, it's like just Pisky problems, like white people problems, race things. This thing.
Oh. Okay.
She'll be able to help you with your other things. That if you've had an uncontrollable urge to steal something,
Um, she kind of sticks her hand in her pocket and looks away.
you did not steal something from me. Put it back.
She very sadly pulls out some very shiny metal stuff and just sets it on the nearest table.
You can have that. That's fine. Yeah, that's a Pisky thing. You're klepto fucks.
Oh. Wait, why are you giving me a key to your shop, then? Like, what if I take all your shit?
Well, you won't because one, I was told where you live, and two, I have a gigantic gun.
Oh.
That's why you're not gonna take all my shit.
I'll do my best.
I appreciate it.
Is it rude to ask what knockers do?
No, it's not. Um, you see my sunny disposition?
Uh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh.
We're all really nice people.
Okay.
And we're also a bit of we're perfectionists. We all craft something. It's in our blood. It's 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 in my DNA. I have to make things with my hands, and if I don't, my hands start to shake, and that's just a personal thing with me. But we're such perfectionists over things we make that if it's not perfect, it kind of gets on our nerves. And try as we might, you can never create something totally perfect, and then that kind of grates at us.
Oh, that sounds really lame.
I agree. It's fucking frustrating. But on the flip side, I can make things work when things break.
Is that what she did with that gun?
Yeah, the refrigerator, that little fucker, it's always trying to break down on me. We can intimidate machines into working again.
So, like, they understand you?
Yeah, that refrigerator was fully understanding that if he didn't start working, I was going to shoot him. So it started working again.
Oh.
I will inevitably have to remind it again. It's
But
never
like,
permanent.
if I point a gun at the fridge, it won't care.
No.
Oh.
And I can make anything.
Anything?
Yep. Like that gun. I made that gun.
What's it do? Just shoot?
It fires really large shotgun shells.
Oh. I was expecting, like, lightning bolt shurikens or something. You
I can
know,
do
like
that.
that game Painkiller.
I can make that.
It'd be kind of neat.
I'm currently working on how to craft chimerical plasma and contain it in a shell.
Chimerical?
Chimerical. Um, some people use the term not real, and that's fucked up because it is very much real.
Okay.
When you look outside and you see a tree, your mortal eyes want to tell you that the bark is brown, the leaves are green.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a fucking tree.
Yeah.
Your face soul looks upon that tree, and at the same time, it also sees the vibrant sap pumping through it like blood. And the greens are more vibrant, and the tree may even be bigger than it actually looks like. Or you'll look at a new building that has just been constructed, and you'll see your mortal eyes will tell you that it's brick and it's got it's stone, and there's mortar and plaster and all the things that make a building a building. And chimerically, your face soul will see that there's not much to it. It's maybe a little more vibrant, but not much. If you look at an old building, and your mortal eyes will again see that the stone and the brick and the mortar and the drywall and the lighting and everything. But your face soul will see a bright, shining building that plays with the dreams of its inhabitants that have been around for God knows how long. You'll look at an old park, and your mortal eyes will see swings and seesaws and slides and ladders and tire swings and all the merry-go-rounds and all that stuff. But the face soul will see stuffed animals and children's imaginary friends still playing on those swings long after the children have grown up. That's the chimerical side of the world. And it is very much fucking real, despite what other people think. It's just the mortals can't see it. Only you can.
Oh.
On certain days, if you look down towards the financial district, you'll see a dragon.
I have a dragon.
You do?
Yeah. So, like, if I go down there and introduce my dragon to it?
No, don't fuck with that dragon.
Oh, why not?
He's very temperamental.
But,
He's called
like,
he's called the Dragon of Wall Street. The humans are so fucking fascinated with their money and the stock market that it's actually spawned a fucking dragon. And since the stock market is very fucking fickle, so is the damn dragon. Just don't fuck with it. Just leave it be.
oh. So I can't be friends with the dragon?
No, just leave that fucking dragon be. Last time he got super fucking pissy, the stock market crashed. That's the cause of the depression. Just leave the dragon alone.
Okay. I don't want to cause another depression.
That'd be fantastic. Just leave that guy alone.
Will my dragon do that?
I seriously doubt it.
Okay.
But all the new stuff you see because of your chrysalis, that's chimerical. It's called chimerical reality. And it is very much real. And
Uh-huh.
if you deny its existence and don't interact with it, that's banal. And you get banality. And it begins to corrupt your face soul. And eventually, it happens to everyone. It's unavoidable. You will grow old, God willing. And the banality of this world will weigh down on you so much that your face soul goes back to sleep. And you forget everything. Everything about being a changeling. All the wonders that you will see will be forgotten. And you will live the rest of your life as a mortal and die.
Shit. So, like, why do we even wake up?
Because you will see some amazing fucking shit. You will be a part of something that is older than human beings. Why do humans wake up knowing that eventually they're going to die? Death is inevitable.
I guess so.
When a changeling becomes too laden with banality and the face soul goes back to sleep, we call it the fading. It's inevitable. Consider it your fey mortality.
Okay.
You fight it as long as you can until you
Why would
can't
I
anymore.
forget?
Why
But
what?
how can you forget, like, years?
That's a fun topic. All right. There's another world. It's called the dreaming. We'll get to that eventually. But the dreaming. Well, no one really fully understands the dreaming. It's sentient ish. It has a will, as you've so recently discovered. And it is the most powerful thing we know. The dreaming wants to protect itself. The main thing it protects itself is from is banality, because banality, as we know, is anti-dreaming. like matter and antimatter.
Uh-huh.
So, in order to protect itself, the dreaming has created what we call the mists. And the mists of forgetfulness. What happens is they cloud the memory so you can't remember it anymore. If you do a magical effect with an art that changelings possess and a mortal sees it, shortly after, the mists will kick in and fade that memory. And notice I said the word fade and not totally erase. So you have to be careful. The more banal the human, the more the memory of it is hidden. So, like lawyers are very tend to be very banal. Some doctors can be very banal. These fuckers forget like almost entirely.
How
Your
do you know?
authors, you'll feel it. You'll get a general sense of someone's banality if you're close to them. Your poets, authors, people who are really imaginative, who live, your hippies who live off the grid, these kind of people with a really good imagination, have low banality, and they'll remember more. So you still have to be careful.
So when I did the dream dance thing,
Hmm.
I I was kind of running away. She looks kind of embarrassed.
Yeah, that's a thing.
When I ran off, there were these like two guys, and they just like rolled up on me, and they were chasing us, and I don't know
They,
how to describe how they felt.
they make your skin crawl,
Yeah.
stick to your stomach.
Mhm.
Maybe like someone was just taking 1,000 needles and poking your flesh.
Kinda. Yeah.
But the overall sense was they were just wrong. There's something
Mm.
really wrong with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Those fuckers are what we call Dantean. And they are the worst kind of people.
What's a Dantean? Is that like a kiss?
No. A Dantean is a changeling. Well, was. I guess still is. It's hard to say. No one's quite certain. Sometimes a changeling becomes so angry with being a changeling. They get so frustrated, disenfranchised. They're usually a very high banality. And when this occurs, most of the time, something happens that we call the undoing. The body becomes so laden with banality, and the human side is so hateful of its face self that the face soul actually dies and moves on to its next incarnation. And what's left is a human who remembers nothing.
Mm.
Sometimes. The undoing doesn't happen. The face soul gets corrupted and tainted and mutates into a mockery of its former self. And what is created is a Dantean, a changeling whose very existence feeds on banality and wishes to inflict it on others. And their sole goal is the destruction of you and everything you stand for. They want you dead. They want me dead. They want to see our entire existence crumble and die into nothingness.
What made them that way?
What makes serial killers that way? Some people are just born bad.
Oh.
Sometimes it's your environment. Sometimes during the chrysalis, the mind snaps. It can't quite process everything appropriately. And so the face soul corrupts and they become Duntane. There's a million theories, and most of them are probably wrong. But the point you need to know is they're dangerous as fuck. And if you'll feel them, most of them. If you see one, you see a changeling doesn't feel quite right, you run. You call me, and you tell me, and I'll come running.
They showed up at my work, though. Are they gonna come back?
It's hard to say. Maybe. Maybe not. They've been a bit of a problem of late. Normally you'll see them like in groups of one or two, maybe. But we've seen an organized group of them. It's something that's never happened before. So you just be on your guard. If you see one, you call me, and I'll come running, and I'll shove my gun so far up their ass I'll blow the top of their head off.
Okay.
And then we'll tell the she.
Do we have to tell them every time we do something?
Fuck no. Something that big, you should probably let them know. They have people. They have power. It's a big issue.
Okay. But like, I don't know, you said you like to like insult them. Why would they help you if they think you're a dick?
Because no one can make things like knockers do.
Oh, so they need you.
Of course they do.
Good.
Any fucktard with a hammer and an anvil can make a sword. But I can make a robot with gigantic guns.
Do they need me?
That entirely depends on what you do in the next year and a day.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Well, what inspires you? What makes you happy? Set one
I like
thing you want to do that gives your life meaning.
I like exploring.
Then be an explorer. You do whatever makes you happy. Whatever fire burns inside of you, embrace that. Do that. And fuck what the 20 year bastards think of it. Because in the end, we're all going to fade. But the more you embrace that spark, that fire in you, the longer it'll take. And the more meaning you'll find in life. Do you feel that burning passion that you have to do something,
Yeah,
whatever it is, and fuck the consequences?
I guess I can try.
If you already have that spark in you, that burning desire, that passion that you have to indulge, if that wells inside of you, that is what we call unseelie.
Unseelie?
Yes, I'm unseelie. I have a drive, a passion that all Fae have it, but I don't let others try to extinguish that flame inside of me. That's what we call unseelie. If you have that burning desire inside and you let responsibilities and duties hinder that flame, so you just become a cog, that's what I call Seelie.
Do you just kind of know, or do you like have to join something, or?
You just you know you if you'll notice that in Changeling there's a theme. You're human and Fae. The combination of human and Fae is Changeling. Well, Changelings, and we'll get into why they're called Changelings later. You have an unseelie and seelie side.
Okay.
Everyone has both, but everyone is predominantly one over the other. Sometimes, in particularly traumatic events that kind of alter your way of being, humans get that. The veteran returning home from war and he's not quite the same person as he was, those kind of traumatic events can cause you to flip, where an unseelie becomes seelie, or vice versa. And these
Okay.
two philosophies, well, they're kind of at odds with one another. Where I am unseelie, I believe that it is more important to embrace the passion inside and not let it be hindered by responsibilities and duties, because then I'm denying who I am. Where the Seelie believe that passions should be hampered by responsibility, where they feel that they have a responsibility to the kingdom, their count, their whatever, and that should come before that fire inside.
I've never been very good with responsibility.
Then you might very well be unseelie. There's a code that unseelies live by, and a code that seelies live by. And one of them will kind of just feel right to you. The unseelie code says change is good, that nothing should remain static. Because, if anything, the dreaming has taught us that imagination and all of these things are good. Where the Seelie believe they tend to stay more in the feudal system exists as it is because of those Seelie fucks. Or if the Unseelie were allowed to rule, it would be similar but very different.
Uh-huh.
The Unseelie Code tells us that the force of glamour, human imagination, and emotions spawn glamour, and glamour is the stuff of dreams. Unseelie Code told us that glamour is free. It's a renewable source. A human dreams and glamour is produced. Where the Seelie believe that it should be taken and nurtured and hugged and put in a little jar and worshipped because they don't think it's renewable. They're afraid that it's all going to go away, which is bullshit. But we'll get onto that later. The Unseelie Code tells us that honor is a lie. It was a quaint little system back in the Dark Ages, but let's be serious. We live in the modern world now.
The feudal modern world.
I live in the modern world. Some people are delusional and stuck, and just because they have a lot of power, unfortunately, I have to kind of exist in it. Doesn't mean I'm going to reinforce it. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, I don't like paying taxes, but if I don't pay my taxes, then the IRS comes after me.
Is getting audited banal?
Extremely.
Okay. Yeah.
But remember, you need some of it, or else you go crazy.
Uh-huh.
You must exist in the middle. The Seelie Code says death before dishonor, which again is another really quaint notion. But doesn't really apply to anymore.
I'd rather live.
Oh, yeah, me too. Another quaint notion, love conquers all. That stuff is best left for romantic comedies and not real life. Because again, let's be serious. We live in the real world.
Do Unseelies get to love, though, right?
Of course.
Okay.
I have loved in my life. I love beer. I love women. I've even loved a woman. But love doesn't conquer all. If I'm walking down a dark alley and a mugger jumps up and shoots my wife just because I love her, doesn't mean she's not going to die.
Yeah.
Love does not conquer all. That is a notion for movies.
Uh-huh. Okay. That makes sense.
This delusional aspect of our love will see us through. That Beatles song, Love is All You Need. Well, no. Love is not all you need. You need physical compatibility. Your likes and dislikes have to match up. At least somewhat would be nice. Just because you love someone doesn't mean that everything's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's beauty is life. Well, yes, I guess there's some point in that. But they feel that things that are beautiful, you have to protect it. It's somehow some kind of manifestation of the dreaming beauty. Because it's the idea of it's fragile and must be protected. Um, to die
Right.
in the service of beauty is an honor and a privilege, is one of their notions. Um, if I had a week, I could not begin to tell you how utterly wrong that is. The dreaming is not pink daffodils and fluffy bunnies. Well, it's a part of it. There is that because the dreaming
Okay.
is the stuff of mortal dreaming, mortal dreams.
But when
But
I did the thing, I saw a demon eating angels. That wasn't
right,
very pretty.
well, no, because when humans dreams and when we dream, we have nightmares. Nightmares are also of the dreaming. Those horrible nightmares that wake you up out of a dead sleep. That's the dreaming too. I don't see a bunch of Seelie people running to protect those.
Yeah.
And then there's the only Seelie code that I truly believe in is never forget a debt. That one I actually agree with. And that one's very self-explanatory. If I do good for you, you should remember and do good for me.
Yeah. That's kind of common sense, I think.
So it sounds like you're unseelie.
Okay. Do I have to do anything because I'm unseelie, or
No.
just
Unseelies tend to band together. Way back in the day, changeling society used to be ruled in shifts, where from the spring to fall, the Seelie court ruled the kingdom.
uh-huh.
And then from the end of fall through winter back into spring, the Unseelie court ruled. And then they shifted back and forth. Well, that's not how it is anymore. Now the Seelie rule all the time.
Why?
That is a very, 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 very interesting question. And if you ask a million changelings, you might get a million different answers. Borderline, the most commonly accepted idea is everything goes in seasons. The world goes in seasons. It's the secular nature of things.
Mm-hmm.
Changeling society is very similar. There is a notion that we are in fall. Not actual fall, though we are in fall, but not like the passing of the sun kind of fall kind of thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
changeling society and is the Fae in general are in its fall cycle where things are dying. Things are starting to get a little darker. Things are getting a little colder. Not like physical burr cold, like, you know, more not metaphysical. You know what I'm trying to say. Fuck words.
Yeah,
It,
like
eventually, like the fact that the Dantean have formed together into a band is a sign that things are getting a little shittier. So you'll hear the term winter, where changing society is going to go to shit. And we hope there's a spring after it, but no one knows for certain. And since the Unseelie have always been associated with winter, that was when we ruled. Some Seelie believe that as long as they remain on top, they can keep winter at bay.
sorry about that. My connection cut out for a sec.
Sorry. What was the last thing you heard?
That the Dantean were banding together was a sign.
Oh. Dante banding together was a sign that winter is coming. And since winter has always been associated with the unseelie, some of the Seelie believe that as long as they remain on top, they can keep winter at bay. Which is laughable.
So they're blaming us?
Of course they do. Deep down inside, I believe they do. I think that the ones that say that some kind of noble purpose to maintain their power is a joke. They just want to maintain their power.
Yeah. So would that mean that the Seelie aren't very Seelie?
Some aren't.
It said that honor was important, but it's not like honorable to do that.
I agree. But whose honor are we talking about? My honor? Your honor? Their honor? Honor can be very subjective.
I guess so.
My personal code of conduct doesn't necessarily match your personal code of conduct. And as long as I maintain and adhere to my personal code of conduct, couldn't it be said that I am being honorable to myself?
Probably.
This is why honor is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Too subjective. Whose honor do we go by? Well, the person in power more often than not. So if I have to change my personal code of conduct to match theirs so I can be honorable in their eyes, I'm not being honorable to myself.
So it's like the winner's writing history sort of deal.
Always. And hence why honor is a lie.
I get it.
It sounds to me like you're unseelie. You're also Seelie. I mean, we all have that part of us that notion where we like the idea that love conquers all. I mean, if that were true, that would be great. But it's not. But something might change to make you think that it is. And that is what is called switching courts.
If I switch courts, if I switch courts, will you not like me?
That entirely depends on how you change. I mean, just because I think that honor is a lie, if you are an honorable person, if you're still cool and you're not stuck up and a know-it-all and a prude, then we'll get along just fine. It's that when you think because that you think love conquers all and I don't, you think you're better than me, then we got a problem.
I wouldn't think that.
Well, there you go. Just because I'm unseelie and someone else is seelie doesn't mean I have to hate them on principle. Because there's a gray area. I'm unseelie, but I think that you should always honor a debt.
Uh-huh.
So it's actually a part of the Seelie code that I personally believe in. Does it make me Seelie? Absolutely not. Does it make me a terrible unseelie? Absolutely not.
So it's just kind of nebulous.
Of course. All things are. take. How much do you know of the Vietnam War? We'll
Not very
say. How
much.
about World War One? How much do you know about World War One?
I learned a little bit about it in school.
Have you heard about the Christmas of World War One? I say the Christmas. There are multiple, but the only one that was really important, where despite the orders
Oh,
from their superiors, where both sides stopped on Christmas and celebrated it together.
yeah, I heard that story.
There's nothing as simple as black white.
Uh-huh. People
There
are.
are there are knockers who are Sealy, who I get along with, and there are knockers who are unseelie, who I can't stand.
Hmm.
Because I'm more than just a set of four tenets that this unseelie code says I have to be.
Yeah.
It's the same with the Sealy side. People more complex than that. I cannot be summed up in four lovely sentences.
Hmm. Okay, that's good.
Now, if you, for some reason, switch and some event alters your way of thinking, I don't instantly hate you. Unless you become a bitch, and then I hate you.
Do you change kith?
No.
Okay.
A white person is always white. A black person is always black. Now, there are things you can do to temporarily change how you look. There's an art that will allow you to do so. But you don't, you might look like a different kith, but you're not. You will always be Pisky. Nothing anyone says or do will change that.
Okay.
And if you're ever talking to someone and they ask who you are, say Shaban, and add the fact that you are a ward under Terran. That way they understand that you are still unsane. It's called being unsane. After a year and a day, you will become sane, and you'll get your true name. You'll learn what the Face Soul is called. And if you go to certain libraries, you can actually track the Face Soul and see what else you've been.
That's really cool. Why don't they
See,
teach that first?
you have a lot on your plate already. Once you get down just how to beat a changeling, then we can get into the details on what kind of changeling you've been.
Okay.
That your true name holds power.
What kind of
That's
power?
that's one notion that the fairy tales got right. Not like Rumpelstiltskin. If they say your true name three times, you're like undone or something or any of that nonsense. But if they know your true name, it said they have power over you.
What kind of power?
It entirely depends on the changeling. There have been instances where if a mortal learns your true name and they say it, they can get you to do three things for them, and you must obey.
That sounds like more of that mind control stuff.
Exactly. If the she were to learn your true name, who knows what they can do with it? So keep your true name to yourself. Only you and the person who tells you it will know it.
Okay.
And once you unlock the true name, you may start remembering bits and pieces of its past, and you can try to track it through the ages.
Mhm.
Because you've been around for a very long time. I've been around for a very long time. I know my true name. I won't tell you my true name, obviously. But I am Greg, and I am Taryn. I'm both. And because of that, a lot of changelings like to take on what's called a changeling name. It's a name you give yourself. I was born Greg.
Why Taryn?
It fit.
Do those have powers?
No,
Yes, Taryn is a little more magic sounding than Greg.
yes, Greg's kind of meh. But it's on my social security card, my birth certificate, and if I wanted a business, I needed to use it. So, and I am Greg. I will
Yeah.
always be Greg, but I'm also my true name, which I won't say. So to kind of honor both of them in face society, I'm Taryn.
Uh-huh. So if I like see you down the street, I should call you Greg?
You can call me Taryn. If we're if you're hanging out and a customer comes in and they're putting in an order, then you call me Greg.
Okay.
You can come up with a changeling name if you want it. You don't have to.
Maybe I'll try. I don't know.
That is entirely up to you.
I guess I have time.
Of course you do. Oh. Any other questions right now?
Uh,
I'm sure you
I don't think so.
have a million questions, and there are many things to teach you.
I I guess I don't know what I don't know, so
There
can't.
are some powers that the face soul remembers. Um, you start out with bits that it remembers.
Mhm.
They might manifest themselves naturally, and it changes with different incarnations on what it remembers. Since you've been around for a very long time, you have a lot of powers that you remember, but
Uh-huh. She looks really interested at this point.
there are some more common ones. Um, like when I chrysalis, I remembered an art that was very knockerish. It's called infusion,
Mhm.
and it helps me create things. Um,
Ooh, cool.
it's in its ultimate manifestation, I can create um, beings with a sentience. It takes work. It's not like poof, a beam of sentience. I have to craft a body, and I can bestow sentience onto that form.
Ooh. Can I do that?
No,
Oh.
sorry. Infusion is a very closely guarded secret of the Knockers.
So would it be like cultural appropriation to ask for it?
Yes.
Okay.
If I find you worthy enough, I may allow you to pick up the basics, but no more than that.
Do we get one?
Kiskies? Not that I know of.
Oh.
They'll
So,
manifest itself in time. You can, a fairly common one, especially for commoners, which is what you are, and she will make sure you know that, is called Wayfare.
uh-huh.
In its basics, it will allow you to jump really far.
Siobhan kind of looks over at her wings. Just jump really far?
That's the basics. What do you expect?
I don't know, like breathing fire or something. That would be cool.
Breathing fire.
Yeah.
That's a different art.
Okay.
Wayfare is about movement. It's at its basic manifestation, it's jumping really far up, really far out. But it's not just you. You can look at someone and force them to jump really far, or force their underwear to jump really far, or force their wallet to jump out of their pocket.
Her like eyes kind of light up.
Yeah, I thought that'd get your attention.
I want to do that.
Just don't get caught. It's illegal. Stealing is illegal.
Right. Yeah,
Then
it
you
is.
can move really fast.
Okay, that's neat.
Um, then another manifestation is what's called portal passage. You can look at a wall and walk through it.
That could be super useful. Whoa. I would never get locked out of my apartment again.
No, no, you wouldn't. You just pass through the door, or the wall, or the bank vault, or what have you.
She kind of looks away when he mentions the bank vault. Not that bad. Jeez.
I'm just saying, I don't know how bad you are. You do you. I don't know. Eventually, you'll with Wayfair, you can fly.
I can't fly now,
I don't know. You have wings.
but if it takes magic to make you fly, she kind of like shrugs.
It's up to you to figure out how those things work. Not everyone has wings. I don't have wings.
So, like, just jump off of something and hope for the best?
You're not a bird, so I would pull that. I would try something smaller, like off a chair. I don't know. Wings are rare for changelings to possess.
Really?
Yeah, that's not normal.
Oh, but they're cool.
I'm sure they are. Lastly, Wayfarer allows you to teleport
That's cool.
to anywhere you've been. It's
So
also very scary.
if I go and explore everywhere, then I can teleport everywhere.
Yep. Or teleport someone else there.
Cool.
Or you and them. Or just their clothes. Or whatever. Or what have you. And there are many others. One's called Primal. You can conjure elements, um, heal the body. The Metamorphosis allows you to alter your physical appearance. Pyretics is all have to do with fire. And then the one that the She possess, that they guard religiously, is called Sovereign. And that's the one that lets them tell you to jump and then you jump.
I don't know that I even want that one.
No, they wouldn't give it to you even if you did.
It's messed up.
Doesn't work really well against them. You'll notice as you go along, the dreaming seems to favor the She quite a bit.
Oh.
It gives them credence to the fact that they belong in power because the dreaming seems to love them more. But don't be afraid to interact with others. In fact, it's good for you. Remember, you must maintain balance between being human and being Fae.
So, what do we, I don't know, do?
The most important thing you do is be you.
Okay. I can. That's not that demanding.
It's one of the perks of being a commoner. You don't have a lot of responsibilities either. Now, if you were a She and, say, a Baron and responsible for a group of land, then yeah, you'd have more things that you'd be doing. But you just be you.
I can do that.
There's a few people you have to. Anyone who introduces himself with some kind of title: Squire, Knight, Baron, Count, Duke. Unfortunately, it's just best that you listen to them. If you don't, oh, and it's fun not to. It can cause consequences you may not be comfortable with.
Like the mind control thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
You'll learn who you can get away with and who you can't. Unfortunately, we have to live with them. That's why commoners tend to stick with commoners. You don't have to worry about any of that nonsense.
Yeah.
You should definitely check out Diva's Bar. She's a Pisky.
Okay. I'll go there next.
She's a bit older in changeling terms. She's a grump.
A grump?
A child that goes through the chrysalis. Children have low banality because the weight of the world hasn't crushed them yet.
Uh-huh.
They're called childlings. You and me are called wilders.
Uh-huh.
Once you start getting a bit older and banality starts to grow on you, as it inevitably will, you will enter in what's called you're becoming a grump. It's the next stage of life. It's like children become teenagers, become adults, become old people.
Okay. So she's just like an old person.
Yeah, just don't tell her that.
Hmm. You don't you
You
don't
can
tell a
mention,
woman she's old.
you can tell her you're my ward. We have an agreement. I fix shit that breaks in her bar, and I get free booze. So just mention that you're my ward, and she'll be good to you.
Oh, cool.
And there'll be more of these conversations where I tell you shit.
Uh-huh.
It's
Okay.
just the basics. Eventually, you'll learn. We'll work out what innate arts you remember, or they might come upon you naturally. I.e., you have ST permission to have it kind of like spark and pop up in a scene so you can learn them.
Okay.
The more random and funny, the better. And then we'll go into our history and why we're called changelings, and I'll take you into the dreaming.
What's in the dreaming? I mean, besides dreams.
What's not? There are three parts to the dreaming. There's the near dreaming, in which the world is very much as it is. The Grand Canyon's the Grand Canyon,
Uh-huh.
but it's more dreamlike. For instance, the capital of the kingdom of the overall kingdom we live in. I guess we'll get into the names. The North America, as you know it, or America, not North America, sorry, is called Concordia.
Uh-huh.
Concordia is ruled by High King David, who has gone missing for quite some time. In his place, Queen Mab is ruling. Queen Mab normally rules the Kingdom of Apples, which is the kingdom you're in now. It expands from Pennsylvania down to like Marylandish, all the way
Wait,
up into Maine.
so the Kingdom of Apples, like the Big Apple?
Yeah,
Uh, that's so silly.
it is. I didn't name it.
What would you name?
Since Queen Mab, who normally rules it, is ruling Concordia as a whole, she has appointed a regent to rule in her stead. That regent is named Morwen.
Okay.
The city of New York is its own county. Not a county as you know it. Counties have counts.
Mm-hmm.
New York City County is ruled by Duke Byron. Duke Byron is a troll. A very old troll. A very badass troll.
I thought the she ruled things.
Exactly. Hence how badass he is. We'll get into the politics that brought that about later. So Duke Byron runs it. Each borough, New York City is a duchy ruled by Duke Byron. Each borough is a county ruled by a count or countess. Manhattan is ruled by a count. What the fuck was that bastard's name? I don't really interact with him very much.
What, Estrella's human name?
No.
Or, oh,
I can't remember his name.
who plays it?
I did once.
Oh, it's an NPC.
It's an NPC. He's a Quidian. But he'll say the name. I'm drawing a blank on it. So each borough has its own. Each county is broken up into baronies. And then each barony is broken down, if they wish, into fiefdoms ruled by knights. If they wish.
Uh-huh.
So you live in the Duchy of New York, ruled by Duke Byron. Depending on where in Manhattan you live, based on your address, it's in northern Manhattan,
Uh-huh.
which means the Baroness or Baron, depending on the day.
Huh?
Yeah, that'll be fun. You'll see. Is run by Estrella, who is a she of House Ilunid. The she have houses. Just like in the old feudal system, one of the houses is Ilunid, in which she is. So, your Baron / Baroness is Estrella. That is the she noble you'll probably be interacting the most with because you live in his / her barony.
Okay. So, oh, let's see. I'm like super late for vampire.
Oh shit! Yes, you are.
Would you mind if we called it? Or
Yep, that's fine.
okay, cool. And Siobhan will thank him for like all of this insane amount of information that she's going to have to memorize.
Mm-hmm.
And suppose she will head out.
Yep. He offers his cell phone number.
Yes, she will happily exchange numbers with him.
If he says if you need anything, you're essentially my responsibility. So if you need anything, let him know.
Okay. I will see you later for more Fae class.
Yay, Fae class.
And then she will run off. Probably back to, I think it was called Home Fires.
Yep.
To go and chill with her new troll friend.
Alright.
And with that, I think we can end our scene.
Yep.
Thank you to my fellow player for playing. And thank you to our watcher for watching this whole thing. This has been another scene for Living World of Darkness Changeling Venue.